In the United States, there is a civil war that has lasted for over 100 years. But this war isn't fought with guns or soldiers. It is fought with dough, tomato sauce, and gallons of melted cheese. Welcome to the ultimate showdown, the heavyweight champion, Chicago deep dish, versus the fast and furious New York thin crust. Today, we are going to dig deep into history, science, and taste to answer one controversial question: which one is the real pizza? To understand this battle, we must travel back in time. It's the early 1900s, and thousands of Italian immigrants are arriving in New York City. A man named Gennaro Lombardi changed everything in 1905. He opened America's very first pizzeria in Manhattan using a coal-fired oven. The New York slice was invented for the working class. It wasn't a luxury sit-down meal. It was cheap, fast fuel for busy workers. This creates the golden rule of New York pizza: the fold. The crust is wide, thin, and crispy enough to hold, but soft enough to fold. Meanwhile, 800 miles away in the windy city of Chicago, things were different. It was 1943, and people needed something warmer and heavier. Enter Ike Sewell at Pizzeria Uno. He didn't want a snack for walking. He wanted a full meal that would fill you up for the entire day. So he invented the deep dish. It is baked in a round steel pan, more like a savory cake or a pie than a traditional pizza. This leads to the biggest difference. You cannot fold a Chicago pizza. It demands respect, a table, and a knife and fork. But the real war isn't just about history. It is about engineering. Let's look at the architecture of these two giants. New York follows the classic Italian order: thin crust on the bottom, a layer of seasoned tomato sauce, and mozzarella cheese on top. Chicago flips the script. It is built upside down. If you put cheese on top of a deep dish, it would burn to a crisp before the thick dough is fully cooked. So to protect the cheese, they bury it under the toppings. Finally, they cover everything with a heavy blanket of chunky tomato sauce. When you bite into a New York slice, it's all about balance. You get the crunch of the crust, the tang of the sauce, and the saltiness of the cheese in one harmonious bite. But Chicago? It's an explosion. The cheese pull alone can stretch for miles. It is rich, buttery, and incredibly filling. You can easily eat 3 slices of New York pizza and keep walking, but after 2 slices of Chicago deep dish, you might need a nap. Fun fact, New Yorkers claim their secret ingredient is the tap water. Chicagoans say their secret is the cornmeal in the crust that gives it that distinct yellow crunch.
This rivalry isn't just local, it's famous. Comedian Jon Stewart once went viral for calling Chicago pizza tomato soup in a bread bowl. Even the Ninja Turtles, the ultimate pizza experts, always chose the thin, floppy New York slice. It's iconic in movies and pop culture, but Chicago fans fight back. They argue that if you want a snack, go to New York. If you want a feast to share with family, come to Chicago. The internet is still divided. Every year, polls show a close race. It seems America just can't decide. So who is the winner? Is it the foldable street food of Manhattan or the cheesy casserole of the Midwest? The truth is, they're two completely different dishes that just happen to share the same name. If you're in a rush and love crispy textures, New York wins. If you want comfort food and love cheese more than life itself, Chicago takes the crown. Maybe the real winner is us, because we get to eat both. Now I want to hear from you. Are you team thin crust or team deep dish? Cast your vote in the comments below right now. If this video made you hungry, destroy that like button and subscribe for more delicious food wars every week. I'm the Food Dossier. And remember, life is too short for bad pizza. See you in the next bite.